Come on in, sit down. You cut the hardcore crew chewing the fat. You cut us shooting the shit. You cut us in the moment.
One of them had called it match.
Really?
You know. Big E versus Roman Reigns. Jake the Snake Roberts against Dean Ambrose. I'd rather take a shit than watch that match. I don't even think Dean Ambrose now should be in the WWE, but that's my opinion. 10-man Money in the Bank ladder match. Nah. AJ Lee against Stephanie. Nah. Brock Lesnar and Batista. Nah. Undertaker against John Cena.
Hell no.
Attitude Era gimmick battle royal. Maybe. Randy Orton against Triple H and Daniel Bryan. Nah, don't want to see that in my lifetime.
God.
No.
Where do these people come up with this shit?
They're smoking Swaggered Stash. Is how
yes, I would love to see Jake the Snake have a match, but against Dean Ambrose. Fucking hell, I'd rather see him fight somebody like Axel fucking Jim Duggan than Dean Ambrose.
Yeah,
Dean Ambrose has got the acting ability of a 3-year-old. Have you seen his facial expressions? He's going to be the worst actor that's ever been in the WWE.
You know, I mean, I don't mind Dean Ambrose. He's not bad.
He's an indie wrestler, and people have said, "Oh, he's yeah, he might be a fantastic indie wrestler. He ain't a professional wrestler. He ain't got it." And when are people going to see it? And I've not been wrong so far. I mean, I said the same about Wade Barrett. Dean Ambrose is the Wade Barrett of the company. You want to be seeing him doing anything in 2 years' time.
Yeah, I don't think he'll ever be
Roman Reigns in that threesome that's going to do.
Now that's where I disagree with you.
Going to do anything. The guy with the streaked hair, Luke says,
Seth Rollins.
Yeah, if he isn't queer, I am. If he's not gay, I definitely am.
Wow. That's but you know what though? I mean, I still think Seth Rollins, as far as wrestling skill, I put him right next to CM Punk as far as wrestling skill. Look at his matches with CM Punk, and you tell me that him and CM Punk are not equally technically sound.
I just don't see anything in the guy at all. And Dean Ambrose, I've never liked from day one, as I said. Yeah. The best thing he's ever done was that when everyone thought he was a nobody and he was calling out Mick Foley. And I said, that guy is so far up himself, he really believes he's the next big thing. And then the next thing I know, he's in the WWE. He probably did that video because he knew he was going to be in the WWE. But what's he done? He's a shit actor. His mic skills suck. His wrestling ability, I'm yet to see him have a match. Because I think it was Will that said, he was very good when he was in Ring of Honor or whatever. I've purposely gone on Ring of Honor and watched his matches. And his matches are about as entertaining as watching Santino Marella. I'm thinking, this guy's good. For Ring of Honor standards, he's excellent. But WWE, he's fucking Santino. Ring of Honor, as a product these days, is worse than any independent company I've seen. I don't care who they've got as their world champion. The product sucks. 3 years ago, Ring of Honor was better than TNA. TNA is 100% better than Ring of Honor.
I would agree with you, but like I said, I still think that Dean Ambrose has promise to improve. I see where you're going with right now, but I think he has promise to improve. As far as his mic skill, I think he's got some good mic skills. I see some of you. I see with where you're going with it. He's definitely the least of the three. Absolutely agree with you there. Some people are really over on him and say he's the best of the three, and I totally disagree. He definitely needs some more development. Absolutely. But I think if he gets with the proper development, I think he could definitely move up. Yeah. And I think that's what happened with Wade Barrett. Wade Barrett, I think he just didn't get the right development. Wade Barrett, really, I saw a lot of promise in Wade Barrett. I saw a lot of promise in Dolph Ziggler.
Do you know what the problem was with Wade Barrett? And I knew it was his death before he even started. Mm-hmm. They were pushing Wade Barrett as the new William Regal. Whether people like it or not, they were pushing him as the new William Regal. Similar sort of character, British, come from the same area. You can't model somebody on somebody else and expect them to be popular, because it doesn't work.
Yeah, I think that's what makes Triple H because they don't really model him after anybody else. Or John Cena, it's the same thing. You have to be an original.
Yeah.
I mean, how many people? And it's not going to happen in my lifetime. I guarantee it won't happen. They keep saying, "Oh, they're going to change Cena over to an heel, or they're going to do this, that, and the other." And it's about time he changed his ring attire. Has Hulk Hogan ever really changed his ring attire? Even when he was in NWO, you still knew it was Hulk Hogan. Yeah. His attire was black and white, but it was still sort of like flames up the legs type attitude. Still got the bandana on. John Cena's gimmick is his shorts and his training shoes. That's his gimmick. That ain't going to change. No matter what the fans think. He's not going to come in a spandex leotard like the Big Show. It's just never going to happen. But the fans keep saying they're going to have to change his gimmick. Why? Hulk Hogan still carries his gimmick on 50 years later. That is John Cena. And this, are they going to turn Cena into a heel? In most people's eyes, he already is.
In my eyes, he is.
Yeah.
Because they hate him. So he's a heel.
The funny thing is they say, John Cena said in interviews, "This is me. This is who I really am." And the funny thing is when I watched the Total Divas show,
he's a dick.
He really is. I don't know if that's an acting, but that's really not who he is. He's a totally different person. Very, very serious. Not very laid back. He's very kind of like very
anal retentive.
Yeah, very anal retentive. What did you think of that when you saw that kind of character in Cena?
Honestly,
go ahead. Go ahead.
Honestly, on Total Divas ain't an act. Tom Hanks couldn't act that well.
All right. What were your thoughts?
I didn't. I don't know if it's just me because I've only seen a couple of the shows, but I didn't see. He didn't come over to me as, apart from being very protective of what he's got, which is not a bad thing. He didn't come over as any different to me. He didn't come over as like, look how much money I've got and I'm rich. I'm rich. There's a bloke on English television, a comedian called Harry Enfield, and he goes, "My name's loads of money, because I've got more money than you." He doesn't come over like that at all. He comes over as a pretty nice guy, but he's very protective of what he does.
Yeah, but when he comes off, when you see him go to awards ceremonies and everything else, he's, suit and tie, speaks very clear, very professional, talks like this, like he should be in the military. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when he comes out in the WWE, he's kind of like baseball cap and jeans and, "Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing? I'm John Cena." You know what I mean? And it's like
I can imagine he's a boring person to know in real life. But then again, a lot of television celebrities, you get this thought in your head of what they're like, and when you actually meet, they always say you should never meet your idol. I'm a big firm believer of that because I've known people that have met their idol. Let's say I've got a friend whose idol was Tom Hanks, and he meets Tom Hanks. I can guarantee the first thing he'll say to me is, "What an arrogant prick he was." You always think of somebody different than what they actually are, and that's one of the downfalls of celebrities. There's I don't know if this guy, I know he lives in America now, but I don't think he's very big in America. But in the UK, he cannot put a foot wrong. Robbie Williams, singer.
Yep.
When he's in the UK, he is what Elvis was in America in the 60s. He is the biggest thing to ever have a pulse. He comes from a place called Burslem, Stoke-on-Trent. I live in Stoke-on-Trent. His parents live about 5 miles from where I live. I knew Robbie before he was famous. He was a prick at school. He's not going to change. He is a complete prick. But he's a rich prick.
Yeah.
When you see him on the television, he comes over as a really nice guy, but he's got a bit of a sense of humour, but he's the type of person that goes into the local bar, picks a fight, he's the first one leave, and the bar gets smashed up. He's a prick.
Wow.
It's just, you get this blinkered, he's a celebrity and he's really nice, because that's how he comes over. But when you know the real person, They're always entirely different.
Yeah. Well, let's move on a little bit. We talked a little bit before this, so right now we're in the moment before we talked about this pre-show, about CM Punk. And Andy, you actually posted a couple of his interviews, and it actually looks like that CM Punk may actually have walked away from the company. And, what were your thoughts when you saw these videos?
Before I found the videos on YouTube, I was 50-50 storyline, reality. Now I'm borderline reality, real deal. I would say at least 90% it's the real deal. He's got no reason to lie. He's just basically had enough of his attitude is he got into wrestling as a wrestler. He didn't get into wrestling to be a soap opera star and stand talking in the ring for 30 minutes and having a 10-minute match. That isn't what he signed up for. He wants to go, wrestle, go home. He's not interested in the pre-talks and the bullshit that goes on in between. And I fully agree. That's what's wrecking wrestling. It's getting too much storyline and very little fighting. And he's made a stand. He said to him in the back, cut the storylines, more fighting. And they've basically said that isn't what we do anymore. So he's, picked his ball up and gone home, and good luck to him.
Yeah. And, I have to agree with you to a point, Andy. When I first heard about CM Punk walking out, I was almost 85% saying, no, this is a storyline. He's going home, he needs a rest, and that's all this is, but they're making it out to be, it's a work. And now I hate to say it, and when I'm wrong, I'll say I'm wrong. I'll say it right here. I think I'm wrong. I think it's very possible that he walked away from the business. I think it's now probably about 75 to even 80% chance that he has really picked up his ball and going home. Do I still think it's possible that it's a work and that WWE is making this whole thing to be a work? It's very, very possible. Do I think that? I don't know anymore. I really don't, and I hope for one point or another that he has, that it's just a work, but I don't know. James, what's your thoughts about all this?
When I heard about it, I kind of felt like it wasn't a storyline, or like how you thought. I felt like it was more like, he's just frustrated and whatnot. And I think this is what it is. It's just his frustration is basically getting the best of him. That's why he basically did Stone Cold in 2002.
All right, finally, Lance, your thoughts.
Honestly, it's looking more and more legit. I mean, I personally think he went home to Chicago.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's a shame, but for somebody who really has was a really big name in the business, I think maybe he just kind of walked away and said, "Hey, look, man, it's time for me to walk away." It's really But now the question is who do you guys think would be the next guy to step up? Andy, if you could really pick someone to step up, who do you think would be that next person to step up?
I think he's made it quite clear. On his interview, he said it, and I'm going to say it for him. It's Daniel Bryan. He's now not given them the choice. They've got to push Daniel Bryan.
All right.
I don't see anybody else on the roster that they can push in his place. I think Daniel Bryan will take over the CM Punk place, then they'll start pushing people like Roman Reigns after, but they need to establish that CM Punk position, fill that void. And the only person it can be at the moment, from my point of view, is Daniel Bryan. I think he's forcing the WWE to do something they don't want to do, and I think that's what's going to make CM Punk, for the want of a better term, have an hard-on, because he's made the WWE do what they don't want to do. He made it quite clear that they don't want to push Daniel Bryan. Don't believe what you read in the papers. They don't want to push Daniel Bryan. I don't know what he's done. They don't want to push him. Well, they've got no choice now, and that's just how he puts it in the interview. They've got no choice. They haven't.
All right. James, who would you think would be the next in line to be pushed?
I agree with Andy. the whole fact that CM Punk left. That's why they're doing the whole stuff now with Daniel Bryan getting beat up by Kane now, because they gotta give Daniel Bryan that CM Punk role now. Mm-hmm. And I think this is Punk leaving is forcing the hand of WWE. Like, okay, we have to put Daniel Bryan now.
All right, Lance, over to you.
Well, I kind of think Daniel Bryan has already been getting a push, because to me a push means one of the main characters that stuff's written around. To me, he already has. So to me, I hope that somebody like Dolph Ziggler gets brought up to fill the open spot.
I have to agree with you. I do think that Daniel Bryan is up to that spot. Probably not up to CM's Punk spot, but I know where you're going with it.
Do you know I think it's going to be?
Okay.
And I don't watch NXT, but do you know this new so-called Russian guy that's supposedly coming in? Mm-hmm. I think they can put all the cards on the table with him. I don't know nothing about him. I don't know if he's any good. To me, he looks a bit of a knob. I've not seen him work, but his character is 1980s, and I just don't see it working. But we'll see. I just think the WWE are going to be pushing that guy.
All right. I would like to see, I think Roman Reigns definitely is. I think you said it is probably the next up to bat. If not, even Antonio Cesaro. I mean, he's been getting a lot of wins. They've been kind of pushing him, and if we notice, they've also been looking like they're going to be breaking up the Real Americans. I definitely could see Cesaro. Well, they're not calling him Antonio Cesaro now. They're calling him only Cesaro, which even says that they're even giving him some kind of a promotion.
The only problem I can see with Roman Reigns, I think they're going to have to get rid of Shield first.
Yeah.
Because if they give a push to Roman Reigns, that doesn't look very good to the other two guys. Especially Dean Ambrose, because Dean Ambrose is supposedly the leader.
Well, right now you have a valid point. That what if they did give him the push while he's still in the Shield, and that would cause the breakup?
Mm.
But then, to me, I think from day one, and I said this from day one, they shouldn't have had Dean Ambrose as the leader, because I don't know how it works in America, but it's like they have Barack Obama as the person they push in as president, and then, I don't know, Billie Jean King as their vice president, and when they actually vote for who's going to be in as the next president, Billie Jean King gets in and Barack Obama's on the back shelf. He's been the front guy, and he's the one who they should be pushing. If they don't push the front guy and they push the middle or back guy, what are they going to do with him? Because it looks like, to me, the WWE have made him the be-all and end-all of Shield, and he hasn't come up with the goods. So that's why, another reason why I think, as soon as I have a Shield part company and Roman Reigns gets a push, Ambrose is out of there. Because he's already been a leader. Same with Wade Barrett. Wade Barrett was the leader of NXT. What happened to him?
Yeah.
You got some bad news.
Yeah, pretty much. But I think
the same thing is going to happen with the Wyatt family. I mean, that guy who sits in the rocking chair, what exactly has he done? And I think he's the least talented out of the three.
Yeah, and they're just starting to put him in matches. Before it took him for the best the first half of the year before he did anything, and even several months where he did nothing, and now he's just starting to come in and just start wrestling. And it's like, people were saying, oh, he was injured and he had like a bruised calf. You could, come on. I agree with you, Andy, on Bray Wyatt. I really have never really been over with the guy. And since now that he's starting to wrestle more, they're putting Luke Harper and they're kind of pushing him a little bit to the back. So maybe they're starting to realize that the fans are starting to see Luke Harper more as a fan and not Bray Wyatt.
I mean, how can anybody take the ginger-haired guy serious with the sheep mask on?
You can't. He's a joke. He's a complete joke. He is, with all, I mean, I hate to say it, he's probably the bottom of the three. Thank you for listening to this edition of In the Moment. Be sure to follow us over at our YouTube page at youtube.com/HWR Show and over at our Facebook page at facebook.com/Hardcore Wrestling Radio. Until the next time, this is the Shining Star Rick Star saying we'll see you when we see you.